So today we're starting into it with the Bella Hadid story, which is a ridiculous story to begin with for so many reasons. So if you're not aware, the Bella Hadid disaster is basically Adidas, or Adidas as we say. They put her, they booked her as a model, and she is a Palestinian model. Now, I don't have any problems with Bella Hadid as a Palestinian being the face of any brand. Like, no one should, right? It shouldn't be like, oh, wow, you're Canadian and, we hate Trudeau, so therefore you're not allowed to model. That would be ridiculous. However, when you find out the extra info that Adidas did, that's when you start to wonder and to start to understand, like, oh, now I get it. That's a big fucking problem. So it all basically went south when Adidas said, you know what? We are going to do a new launch of a classic shoe that was used in the Olympics, right? In the Munich Olympics in 1972. Now, if they would have just done that, it wouldn't have been a controversy. It wouldn't have been a problem. However, they explicitly went to book Bella Hadid, a Palestinian model that has been very outspoken against Israel, pro-Palestine, to then launch the Adidas shoe of 1972, referring to the Munich Olympics. Now, if you are unaware of what happened in the Munich Olympics, well, then watch the movie Munich with Eric Bana, because it's a great movie and it tells the story of how the Israelis actually send a special elite squad to go and kill the terrorists that killed the Israelis during the Munich Olympics. Basically like, a Munich 9/11. And so you're not fooling anyone by pretending as if that wasn't what you picked, right? So when you combine that with what's going on right now in Israel and Palestine, you then go and book a Palestinian model that's outspoken against Israel to sport your 1972 Olympic gear. Is like, are you kidding me? Like, you are clearly referring to some very, very serious events that happened. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is that I actually worked in advertising for a little bit. I did some commercial shoots, and so I know that these things, especially at the level of Adidas, with the budget and the team that they have, this is not something that one person decides, on a Tuesday night, like, oh, let's do this. No, there is like weeks, maybe even months of the discussions, meetings, before you even do anything about this, right? So you have been doing hours and hours and hours of deliberation, of thinking of the ad campaign, of talking to the creatives. They probably had external teams that advise them to do consulting for them when it comes to marketing. Like, these major companies usually hire a ton of advertisement agencies and professionals to help them with all their different ads in different countries for different products. And so this is not something that someone just overlooked. This was deliberate. And this is not the first time. I mean, we all remember the Balenciaga disaster, where they were basically just, I can't even say the words what they did, but we all know that they took photos in a particular position and they were children involved. So, you figure out the words, right? And again, with the Bella Hadid shoot, this is not coincidence, this is not accident, this was deliberate. And what I find so despicable every single time when these BS companies pull this is that they want to be edgy, right? They have these DEI new age marketing teams that want to be fun and edgy and cool, and then they can't even stand to deal with the blowback that they were obviously going to get. At least when Suit Supply came out with these massive controversial ad campaigns, they stood by them. They were like, you know what, fuck everybody, we're just going to sell sacks and suits and we're gonna look great doing it, and men loved it. And that immediately brings me to a very important point, because Adidas really fucked this one up, not so much with the original marketing launch, but actually with the cover up and the apology after, because I can guarantee you, I know the Adidas customer, right? This is the people that are pro-Israel and the people that are, and the Israelis themselves, the Jewish community, they're not buying Adidas. They are just not, for obvious reasons. I mean, if you don't know, Adidas is a very, very big German company, and they had very, very deep ties to Mr. H. So the Jewish community is not fucking with Adidas to begin with. So if you look in Europe, for instance, people love buying Adidas, the tracksuits, all the merch, all the shoes. It is part of sort of subculture, urban culture, streetwear. All those people are pro-Palestinian, or they just don't give a fuck. And loads of people in the media and in other companies do have a problem with it, understandably so. But the funny thing is, just if you compare this to the Bud Light case, for instance, that's where the VP of Bud Light, the former VP of marketing, she pissed off the Bud Light customer, right? It was the white college-age man, the white, hillbilly guy who are drinking tons and tons of Bud Light, and she told them basically, we don't want the brand to be for white men. Well, guess what happened? The brand collapsed because those are the guys who are drinking it. And so it is ridiculously stupid to piss off your own customer base. But in this particular case, I don't think that this would have had a serious effect on Adidas sales anywhere in the world, especially not in Europe and especially not in Asia. So then the question is, why are they so scared? Without getting into all of the Jewish conspiracies that are out there, there are a lot of very wealthy, very influential Jewish people that do control how certain companies spend their money or what certain companies choose to associate with. And so Adidas would be losing some of their contracts with top athletes and top clubs, and that would in the long run perhaps start hurting their sales if they can't be out in the open anymore. The powerfulness of your brand, because if people only see Nike and Puma, Under Armour, Gymshark, then they're not going to really think of Adidas when they want to buy new they want to buy new gear. So that will hurt you. But that is such a long process that I can't even see that really happening very quickly, and that Adidas would have plenty of time to sort of wash their hands clean of this disaster. And I think it would have made a much stronger statement if they stuck by this. But just like we saw with the Bud Light case, if you first piss off people and then cover up the piss off, all that you do is you basically start angering both sides. And I am pretty sure that's going to happen here as well. So now you're going to get people that are pro-Palestinian. They're going to whip this up and say, look, Adidas caved. They're bending to, all of the Kanye theories. And this is going to lead to a bigger problem than the one that they're now trying to cover up.